Join me in welcoming Chisom, who will be speaking on how to navigate the tech job market amidst layoffs. Please let's clap for her.
Okay. Yes. Um. Hi everyone. Good morning. My name is Chisom. I'm super excited to be here. But first of all, before I start, I would like to give the Oscar team a big thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand here to speak to you all today. Um. So yeah, the energy in the room, I'm not feeling it. Why? Why is everybody looking so dull? Okay, let me do this thing I learned from Ada. If you can hear me, clap once. That's not enough. If you can hear me, clap once. Clap twice. Clap 3 times. Stomp your feet. Okay, very good. Okay, so how many of us recognize these images on the screen? Okay, so these are job alerts. I'll give a little bit of backstory. I usually post job alerts on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, this won't be so unfamiliar to you. I do this because I think I have a knack for looking for jobs for people. And I look for junior roles, internship roles. I don't look for roles that have like 3+ years of experience, just to bring it to my feed to help people apply easily. And there was a certain moment that I looked for these jobs and I wasn't seeing any jobs. And people were reaching out to me and they were like, Chisom, we've stopped seeing you post job alerts. What happened? And this was literally the explanation. There was a huge pandemic in the tech industry where companies were laying people off. And I have this graph from layoffs.fyi. This is like a subset of companies that laid off their staffs. You can see that there is like thousands of layoffs from different companies. And we're never talking about the startups that didn't make it to Google or didn't make it to the internet. So this was a huge pandemic. And that's what inspired this talk, how to navigate the job market amidst layoffs. As tech professionals, so many things change in our industry, and we need to learn how to be dynamic, we need to learn how to adapt, and just make good use of the kind of situation we find ourselves in. So, what are the key takeaways we'll be taking away from this talk? The first is, why do layoffs happen? Before we know how to navigate the layoffs in the job market, we need to understand why layoffs happen, the mistakes that you're making while applying for jobs, how you can position yourselves better in the job market, and we're here to celebrate open source. So, we're going to see different ways open source can help us. So yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Chisom once again. I was formerly an ex-intern at the Bank of America. I currently work at Microsoft as a software engineer. I'm the author of this very beautiful book, A Techie's Guide into Big Tech Companies, and it's a roadmap for landing jobs at international tech companies. I'm also a tech and lifestyle YouTuber. That's me smiling in all my thumbnails. I'm a public speaker. And my non-tech passions, I love cooking. If you know me and you follow me, you see that sometimes I post the food that I cook on Twitter. Okay, so why do layoffs happen? The first is the economy. The economy is a very, very dynamic variable. It changes, it either goes in our favor or it goes the negative route. Second is inflation. But I think the major reason why there was a massive layoffs from ending last year to this year was overhiring. When COVID-19 struck, so many companies went remote, so many businesses went the e-commerce route, and these companies thought it wise to hire more people to fit into the demand of the market. So when these people were hired, they were working, right? And when COVID-19 finished, what happened? Companies needed to resize, companies needed to cut their budget, companies needed to let go of a lot of people. So is that our fault? If you think that's our fault, let me see your hand. Okay, it's definitely not our fault. The answer is no. But how do we navigate? Layoffs are very cold and discouraging. Even though it didn't hit me personally, I know a couple of my friends that the layoffs affected. But before I start, I would like to point out that the job market has always been highly competitive. But thinking about now where there are layoffs is going to be even more competitive. So as you follow me on this journey, try to take notes and try to put your A game in all the points that I mentioned. So the first thing you're going to try to do is evaluate your skill set, reassess the job market and the skills that are currently in demand, conduct an internal audit of what you know and what you don't know so you can identify like the skill gaps that you have. Try to upskill and expand your skill set, build your portfolio with technologies that are trending, and not just technologies that are trending, build your portfolio with technologies that companies are looking to employ people on. And lastly, embrace a growth mindset. If you're in the tech industry and you do not have a growth mindset to learn new things, to learn new technologies, you're going to find it very hard to adapt. So the next thing is considering an industry pivot. Because you have friends working in the tech industry doesn't mean that you must work in the tech industry. There are a lot of industries that are hiring tech professionals. The food industry, they need people to build back-end services for food deliveries. The entertainment industry, they need they need data engineers, they need data analysts to help them analyze data. The media industry, I think one interesting thing was that when I scout for jobs, I see people or companies like Nestle, Sky News, Supersport hire tech professionals. But the funny thing is nobody is looking at that side. People are always fixated on working for a fintech company. So at this period, you're meant to look at other industries to see the opportunities that you can get there as a tech professional. Okay, this beautiful quote by Bill Gates that says, if your business is not on the internet, then your business will be out of business. I might be thinking, oh, Chisom, I don't have a business, I don't have a POS, I'm not selling something on IG. But the fact that you have skill sets means that that is your business. If you're not putting your skill set online, it means that your skill set or whatever that you feel gives value is going to be out of business. So people need to see it. My next point would be building an online presence. I think I'm one person that has knacked or that has gotten some kind of accolades from building an online presence. So this was me on LinkedIn, 2018, 2020. I was always posting about what I learned. I was always posting about my articles. When I launched my app on Play Store, I posted about it. When I finished the course, I posted about it. And you know the funny thing, nobody was liking my posts. Nobody was reposting. Nobody was commenting. But that wasn't the aim I was looking at. What I was looking at was for people to see that I am available and that I exist. Fast forward to 2021, I got a referral. Somebody reached out to me and said, Chisom, I've been seeing everything you've been posting, and I would like to refer you for a role. This is somebody that doesn't even know if I can code, but basically because of the fact that I've shown that I have like the right skill set to work in a company, and I got a referral. I did the interviews, and I'm currently working at that company now. So this is like the best way to build an online presence and benefit from it. So what do people see when they Google you? If you're a front-end engineer and I Google you and I'm not seeing anything related to front-end engineering, you are not building a proper online presence. Try to highlight the accomplishments that demonstrate value. Try to tell people what you're learning. Try to tell people what you're building. Broadcast your career ambitions. If you're looking for an internship role, let people know that you're looking for an internship role. And try to add value through your platforms. Most of you know a lot of technical things, but for the fact that you feel scared that people might not really understand what you're saying, people that hire people for their companies love educators. They love people that can give out knowledge. So try to add value through your platforms as well. Direct networking is also a way that you can navigate. Connect directly with recruiters and hiring managers. Don't try to apply the usual way because most of the time your application doesn't really get into the room. Seek for referrals rather than blasting cold emails. And try to make face-to-face connections with people that you can see or you have the opportunity to see physically. Company research. The layoffs are happening. They might be under the carpet now, but I feel like it's something that's still happening. Before you try to apply to a company, make sure that you've done your research on the trajectory of the company, making sure that this company won't go under the carpet really soon. I have friends that have applied to so many companies and they've employed them, and between 2-3 months, they're laying staff off and they get laid off. So do your company research pretty well. So we finished talking about all the juicy stuff. How can open source actually help to accelerate our careers? If you're an active open source contributor, then you should pay really nice attention. So how many of you agree with me on this? Open source contributions equals work experience. Anybody? Okay, some people don't agree with me. So a little bit of backstory. When I was contributing to during Hacktoberfest, when I was actively contributing to Anita B org, I realized that we're literally doing the same thing as you would do in your normal work day as probably a software engineer. You're getting assigned a task, you're pulling from a main branch, you're adding features, and you're sending back a PR. So I would tell you boldly that open source can equate to work experience. So how do you make your open source contributions shine? First thing is have really lovely conversations with your interviewer on your open source contributions. Describe your project. Don't assume that your interviewer knows the kind of open source project you've contributed to. Next, discuss the technologies that you use. Discuss high impact contributions only. I know you've contributed to a lot of software, but try to pick out the ones that have had a huge impact. Collaboration. How did you handle conflict, if there was any? How did you collaborate with your remote contributors and all that? So company-targeted contributions also help. If you know a company that you want to work for, check if they have an open source database and try to contribute to that as well. And try to connect with people that are also maintaining that open source project. Networking with the community as well is also something. Some open source projects have large organizations behind them that hire developers. If you don't believe me, this is a stat I found from GitLab's open source blog. Almost a third of its 40 first engineers were hired by the people that contributed to the project first. So companies can hire you as an open source contributor. And this is your open source community. It's not so far-fetched. Everybody around you here is an open source community. So today is the last day of the festival. Make good use of this opportunity and network as much as possible. Okay, I don't know if I have time, but let's try a social experiment. If you know that you know 5 people that came for Oscar, you know where they work, you know their names, and you know what they do. Let me see your hands. Okay. You know what they work, you know what they do, and you know their names. Okay, 2 people. Can 2 people come out just? The first 2 people. I don't know if I have time. Okay. So I have 2 books, so I think they will be the ones to get the copies of the book. Okay. 5 people, their name, where they work, what they do. Really quick.
Adora,
Okay.
Paloma,
Okay. How do I confirm? Okay.
Dembami,
Uh-huh. Okay.
Fatima Hassan,
Okay. That's cool. Okay, next person. Okay.
I mentioned Adora.
Really quick. Okay.
Zion,
Okay.
Zion,
Where does he work?
work experience investing.
Okay.
Then there is Ayo.
Uh-huh.
Ayo.
Okay, how many did you mention? 4 or 5?
Ada Gugu, Sadiq Gugu.
Okay, it's fine. Please meet me after the event. Thank you. Okay, so where do we go from here? In everything you do, try to stand out, try to be unique. Whatever you're building, try to do it well. Leverage the perks of the community. The community has a lot of value, so try to be active in any community that you find yourself. Push yourself to build and collaborate with others. Learning alone is sometimes not really nice. And lastly, focus on becoming better each day. So I'm going to end with this lovely quote by Bruce Lee, and I'd like each and every one of us to say it at the same time. 1, 2, ready, go. Again. Nice, nice. So whatever you want to see yourself doing tomorrow, you have to put in the work today. Thank you.